Hiya, and gaming passion of video whole game. I will be recapping the story so far. So sit back, relax. I always say this, and I always will, whenever I play a Resident Evil game. Grab your Jill sandwich, but as always, and more importantly, enjoy the live stream. So, in this live stream of Resident Evil Village, I am taking advantage of the journal feature. And it's actually a very handy feature that I've never seen in any other Resident Evil game before in this way. Is it recaps everything it recaps all the story so far in this nice, neat and handy journal that you can access at any time in the main menu. So that's what I'm going to be doing in this live stream, recapping the story so far of Resident Evil Village through this handy journal feature. It has even little sketches and everything. I wonder if Ethan Winters actually sketched these himself. Interesting. Okay, so without further ado, as they say, so this is where it all started. And hello to my first and lovely viewer. You are very welcome back to Green Hill Gaming. You're welcome to the story of Resident Evil Village so far. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you're keeping well, more importantly. So it all started on February 9th for Eden Winters. It was dawn. Some forest. Will I put on the voice for effect, will I? Oh no, I can't because I have to speak like Eden Winters, don't I? It should have been a night like any other. But then Chris Redfield came in and destroyed my family, or our family. Cut. Take two. It should have been a night like any other. But then Chris Redfield came in and destroyed our family. He took Rose away, shot Mia right in front of me. I was knocked out, and now I'm in some forest in the middle of nowhere. What the hell is going on? February 9th, early morning, village square. I found the village just outside the forest, but one of the villagers was attacked and dragged off by some kind of beast. I managed to survive these creatures, and an old woman told me Rose's hair somewhere. I need to find her before those monsters get to her. I keep changing my voice, don't I? Mr. Chad Middleton, welcome back to Green Hill Gaming. How are you doing, man? How did your day go? In this live stream, I am recapping the story so far of Resident Evil Village by reading this journal. Pretty handy feature in the game. You can access this journal at any time in the game to recap the story so far. I'm doing a terrible job putting on the voice, but so look, it's funny. What the hell? So, okay, moving on. February 9th morning, Louise's house. I found survivors huddled together at Louise's house. I think she's the bigwig here. But then one of them turned into one of those creatures. He slaughtered everyone here. I get it. These monsters are the villagers, and this village is their den. And I know two things. That I'm the only one left, and that Rose might be in that castle. So that's where I'm going next. Will I continue to put on the voice, or will I just talk normal? The creature of the manga Berserk passed away. But I honestly have no idea what that manga is and who the creator is, but sad news nonetheless. February 9th morning, a mine. I was on my way to the castle when I was captured by a group of 5 twisted freaks. Heisenberg, a hammer-wielding asshole. Dimitrescu, the tallest woman I've ever seen. Donna has some kind of creepy old doll. Marua is some nasty puss-spewing thing. And last of all, their mother, Miranda. They can control those creatures too. What are these people? February 9th morning in front of the castle. Some merchant, calls himself the Duke, appeared out of a horse-drawn caravan. He seems to know what's happening here. I don't trust him. But I don't have time for that. I need to search the castle for Rose, or at least some clues. February 9th morning, Castle Chambers. This castle looks like something straight out of a gothic horror movie, complete with giant, noble women and their 3 daughters. See how he didn't say witch daughters? Because they're not witches. He didn't get to finish his work, but it inspired a lot of people and media. That's, as I said, that's actually very tragic, and that he didn't get to continue his work. I just unfortunately have no idea who he is or what his work is. But they caught me while I was looking for Rose. Strung me up. I had to bite the bullet in order to get loose. Hurt like hell too. Don't think I'll be getting a job as a narrator anytime soon. But what the hell, we'll continue to recap the story of Resident Evil Village. So far. February 9th, morning, Castle Courtyard. I can't find Rose anywhere in this damned castle. Perhaps she was never here to begin with, or maybe she's being kept somewhere else. Either way, there's no reason for me to stick around. Now I just have to escape. February 9th, noon, Tower of Worship. That woman, Demetresque, turned into a monster, but I was able to kill her and escape. Can I just say to all of the sad, pathetic little simps who simp over Lady Demetresque, aka Tall Vampire Lady, I am so happy that she plays a small fraction of this amazing game's story. I love the fact that you just kill her in no time and make short work of her. I love that. Yeah, cry, simps. Cry. Music to my fucking ears. Go on, cry. I love it. Anyway, sorry. Did you beat the... Chad, will you just chill, Chad. Chill. Right? I know Prudy fucking Pie and possibly Jack Spasticated Eye and the rest fucking junked up fucking big YouTubers have rushed through this game and have completed it by now, but I'm not them, Chad. I take my time playing this game. I presume were you in last night's live stream? You were. Did I complete the boss in that live stream? No. So to answer your question, no, I did not beat the boss. Hence why I have a live stream titled The Story of Resident Evil Village so far. Okay? So, no is the answer to that question. And when I do, I will tell you. And you will see it. But it hasn't happened yet. Okay. Now, where was I? Yeah, so I was so happy for the simps that I killed Lady Demetresque in no time, made short work of her, and never to be seen again in the game. Fucking love it. Right, moving on. What is this? Alright, she said, "You'll never see your Rose again." Why can't I get that out of my head? Yeah, well, simps, you'll never see Lady Demetresque again. February 9th, noon, altar. Rose's body is in these flasks. Who the fuck would do such a thing? My brain can't keep up with everything that's happening right now. The Duke did say there was a way to save her. It's hard to believe him, but the only thing I can do is ask the man that lives in the house with the red chimney. February 9th, afternoon, altar. So Rose was divided into 4 flasks and given to the 4 lords: Demetresque, Donna, Rue, and Heisenberg. I can save Rose if I can get all 4 of these. I still don't trust this Duke, whatever. But he was right about one thing. Time to get my daughter back. Yeah, Eden, definitely. February 9th, afternoon, Monkton Garden. I saw Mia in the fog. What was she doing here? No, she's gone. I have to accept that. But I guess the part of me still can't. February 9th, afternoon, House Beneventio, however the hell it's pronounced. Those waking nightmares I was having in that house was all the work of Donna. No, you were infected by the mold, Ethan, come on. But I admit I am still worried about the thing that Mia wouldn't tell me before, and now I'll never know what it was. Chad, do you reckon? No, this is Resident Evil 7 canon we're talking about here. Resident Evil 7 lore here now. I'm not talking about Resident Evil Village now. I'm talking about Resident Evil 7. So it's okay to discuss the story of Resident Evil 7, but just don't discuss anything involving Village that I haven't seen so far. If I'm not mistaken, Mia Winters eventually told Ethan that she was involved with Evelyn, that she was responsible for everything that happened. Did they just completely remove that from the story or what? Like, because they don't seem to reference the blue umbrella either when you're reading the Baker incident report. So there may be things that they might have just taken out of the story. Because companies will do that from time to time, like not just in video games, but they'll do it in movies. Only 2 flasks left. I swear I'll at least save Rose. February 9th, afternoon, caves. I finally got hold of the 3rd flask, but the exit was blocked by that asshole Maru. I need to find another way out. There's something else nagging me though. He said something about Miranda looking for her baby back. I had a feeling he wasn't talking about Rose. February 9th, afternoon, lake. I ran into Chris and his goons in a shack, fucking hell, shack, by the lake. God. They seem to be researching something. What are they up to? I had so many questions, but then that giant fish turns out was Maru attacked. I need to get out of here. Wait, Ethan, you forgot to mention the fact that he saved your fucking life. You ungrateful bastard. Seriously, Chris saved his life. I think it's actually quite poetic, to be honest with you, because like the game starts off with Chris Redfield shooting your wife and taking your baby, and you as the player get the impression he's the bad guy. The next time you see him, he saves your life. But Ethan Winter seems to forget that. Ungrateful cunt. I'm an OG kind of Resident Evil fan, like, you know what I mean? I'm more of a Chris Redfield kind of guy, you know, Jill Valentine, Leon Kennedy, you know. Ethan Winters is alright, like, but, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I don't know. How can I describe him? It's like if you're all hanging out, like, with your friends and whatever else, like, and then you just have to bring your little brother along, like, and it's like,
Hi, I'm Ethan Winters. Oh my god, you're Leon Kennedy, aren't you? Oh god, you're little man. Oh, that's Chris, like.
do you know what I mean? That's what Ethan Winters is like. Anyway, so he is, as Chris Redfield said, he's out of his depth. Right, February 9th, afternoon, Maru's hut. Maru's belly up and I'm almost out of the lake. Then who shows up but the last child, Heisenberg? We have a child now, Ethan. And I'm pretty sure he's older than you. Not in person, of course, through a dusty old TV. He told me that the last flask is in some stronghold. I'm not going to let him have his way, but I don't have any other options right now. This better be a trick. Oh, better not be a trick. God, this story is going great so far, isn't it? February 9th, evening, stronghold. I finally have all 4 flasks, but Heisenberg said I needed to do one more thing to heal her. Take all... How is he planning on healing her? I'd love to know, by the way. Take all the flasks to the altar. Will this really heal her? Can I trust her? But I suppose like when you're a father, you're looking for your daughter, you know, your baby daughter. You're gonna... If someone tells you that you have to walk on the moon, you'll be looking for the fucking moon, like, you know what I mean? You'll be doing whatever you can, like. February 9th, evening. Edge of bridge. I put the 4 flasks in the giant chalice, then moved it to the ceremony site where the ground gave way, and a stone bridge appeared. Some kind of garage or warehouse. I was far from the garage now, Ethan, as you're well aware of now. The other side, Heisenberg's platform, just like dissecting the fucker, like, you know, he's a journal, like I'm just reading his journal, and like this guy, like, getting everything wrong. Heisenberg's place, I presume. I don't want to be apart from Rose, but there's only a little left. There's only a little left to do. Bad English there, Ethan. There's only a little left to do. Ah, Jesus, Ethan, come on, no, like, you can do better than that, like. Wait for me, my dear. So he goes from like, so he goes from like Zoomer vocabulary to fucking Shakespeare vocabulary in one sentence. One minute he's saying like, there's only a little left to do. Like, wouldn't it be better if he said there's only a little more left to do? I think that would make more sense anyway. And then he says, wait for me, my dear. Anyway, February 9th, factory underground. Heisenberg asked me to help him, but he just wants to use Rose against Miranda. Miranda, Heisenberg, they're all the same. Fighting over Rose's power. Something that's no match for any of them. Crazy. I mean, Rose is just a baby. Do you know what? Ethan Winters is completely out of his depth. I don't think he fully understands like what happened at the Baker family estate. I mean, he keeps talking about how he can't forget it, but I don't think he knows what the fuck he's actually. Clearly, he should know that his baby is still like has the mold in it. Like, he's just a stupid cunt. I need to get to the surface so I can save her. And that's it. That's the final page. It was a lot quicker than I thought it was going to be, actually. I actually want to show you the main menu there. Chad, sorry for having a go at you there earlier. I was just dreading the comment, like, you know, did you did you face the tough boss that's the son of Il Wong, and then Leon Kennedy comes in with Claire Redfield, and you know, like, I was just waiting for that, you know what I mean? I was like, not again. I was like, fucking hell, Chad, not again, you know? But you didn't spoil nothing. Don't worry, you didn't spoil nothing. It's just that, like, I haven't faced the boss yet, and I just thought, like, you were gonna follow up that comment with something else, like, and you didn't, and it's fine, and it's okay, but sorry to have me go at you. It's just, I'm so close to completing the game, and I just don't want a big massive spoiler just to kind of happen now, like, Jesus, do you know what I mean? Like, I just don't want that. But you didn't. That's fine. Now, what I actually want to show you now is actually the main menu. Actually, if anything, the main menu was kind of a spoiler, to be honest. Why's that alarm gone off? That's fine. Of course, I'll be back later on tonight with part 14 of Resident Evil Village. But for now, I want to show you the main menu. Exciting stuff, I know. I was saying a few times that the main menu into the game you get, and I thought, you know, when you start the game it'll be nighttime, and you finish the game it'll be morning, but it's actually more than that now, because the village apparently seems to be on fire. It's very interesting. I don't think it's on fire though. It looks like it's been attacked. It looks like there's an explosion. I don't really get time to do this, but I just want to. No, it'll be. I'll do this. I was going to show you the Baker incident report, but I already did, and I'll go back to that another time. But I will just kind of briefly talk about it. I wanted to talk about the part where the BSAA covered up the Baker incident, which they completely did, because they took responsibility for the damage that Evelyn caused in the Baker family estate. You see, the BSAA had a mission prior to the Baker family incident, and that mission was to go to the Connections lab, I think at Munich, and capture Evelyn, but they failed. Evelyn got away, connections were suspicious of being like attacked again, so they transported Evelyn uh, to America, which is where Evelyn escaped, attacked the ship, and that's eventually what caused the incident at the Baker family estate. I don't know why the BSAA took so much responsibility for that. Like, I mean, people get it wrong all the time. I mean, there's plenty of operations across the world that get things wrong. They don't go around. Well, I was going to say they don't go around covering things up, but like cover-ups are pretty much common in the world, but not like it's not standard procedure. Like, I mean, like if there was a big, massive drugs operation, right? Like we say, like the FBI were involved in a massive like drug operation in America. Like if they got it wrong, like they would just say, okay, we did just say we got it wrong. We'll try it again next time. No matter how many, collateral damage was there, like, you know. But for whatever reason, the BSAA decided to go full on cover up. Which I want to point out, and I pointed out before many times now, but Chris Redfield would not be involved in the cover up because of what he went through in the mansion. No way. But nonetheless, anyway, that was what was ordered by the BSAA, a full on cover up. So anything linking Evelyn, the mold, to and everything that happened in the Baker family is there. Everything linking that to the BSAA had to be completely wiped out. So that's why the whole place was sealed off and nobody can get in there. And the story that was fed to the media was that there was a gas leak. Obviously, that's not what happened. Okay, so that's the story there. So with this village, apparently being bombed or something, looking at the main menu would spoil something. Fucking hell. But that's not a regular fire, like that's because there was some sort of a loud bang as you were heading into the factory as well. So the place has been attacked. Kind of very ominous actually, because I think the last time that something, well, I don't know, not the last time, but I seem to remember Code Veronica. The start of Code Veronica, the Rockford Island base was attacked, and who attacked it? But Albert Wesker and his team. So it's gonna be no, but I think it's actually the BSA that are involved in attacking this. Maybe they found out that Chris was looking into stuff that he shouldn't have been looking into, and that's why he probably attacked the place. In the Infinite Darkness trailer, Claire Redfield is trying to expose the US government with their involvement in Raccoon. Oh, that sounds fucking interesting. I actually like that now. That's more interesting than the live action Resident Evil series is coming to Netflix about like, oh, in this movie we have two female characters because we want to be diverse, gender equality. Or don't even get me started in gender equality, but we're Albert Wesker's daughters. Like, I don't want that shit, you know. But I love the whole fucking cover up of the Raccoon City incident at the hands of everyone, Umbrella, Raccoon City Police Department, the government. Like, and you know what though? It even goes back further, and it'll be interesting to see will this Netflix series actually delve deep into like the lore of the games to the point where like we find out how the Umbrella Corporation ended up developing biological weapons in the first place. Because in the official lore, it's basically Oswald E. Spencer and Dr. James Marcus and Dr. Escher. They founded Umbrella Pharmaceuticals, and all that was just like selling medicine product, healthcare products, you know. But it was actually the what you call it, the U.S. military, the U.S. government, who actually came to Umbrella Pharmaceuticals and said, "Would you be interested in developing biological weapons for us, for the U.S. Army? We will pay you an absolute fortune if you do this." And Spencer, I would say Spencer was the first person that spoke. He just pushed everyone out of the way. Yeah, because he needed money, a lot of money. He needed a lot of support for his own goals, his own visions. You know, like you don't have a vision to be a god of a new world without. So that's in the official Resident Evil lore, anyway, the official video game lore, that's how that's actually how the US government got involved. That's actually how the US government got involved. So I would love to see now if that kind of gets portrayed in this Netflix series. I'd be interested to see as well if Leon Kennedy will there be friction for the first time between Leon and Claire. Simmons got the president infected and created Neo. Oh well, that's the. I hope they don't lean too much on Resident Evil 6, like, do you know what I mean? Because that was kind of all over the place. You had Simmons, you had this weird group called the Family, who were basically like the Illuminati of the Resident Evil series. And you just had all these groups. There was there was too much happening in Resident Evil 6, and I think everyone will agree on that. Die-hard Resident Evil fans, Call of Duty heads, whoever, I think they'll all agree that there was just too much happening in that game. But I hope they keep it short and simple, and delve into the lore that I mentioned there earlier. So I'd be interested to see would there be any friction between Claire Redfield and Leon S. Kennedy in terms of Claire like kind of going after the U.S. government and finding out like what they were covering up, because like Leon Kennedy works for the U.S. government. Do you know what I mean? He's under the direct command of the U.S. president. So will there be that kind of friction? Do you know what I mean? Like, because they never really had that friction between Leon and Claire, not on any kind of major level. And considering it's going to be a series, it's going to have a bit of drama. It's going to have a bit of twist and turn. So yes, it will be interesting to see. Will that happen? But I'm actually hyped now for that, like a full on series, a full on Resident Evil series. I mean, I've actually been asking for this for a long time, and it's kind of like my wishes have been fulfilled double, like, because it's like I'm still going to watch live action Resident Evil series, like whether it has Wesker Children or whether it fucking has whatever they want to do. It's still Resident Evil, and I will still support it. You know what I mean? So 2 Resident Evil series and a reboot movie on the way. Good time to be a Resident Evil fan, and you got this game then as well. And for anybody looking back at the title screen and wondering why am I not playing the game, well, first thing I will say is have a look at the title. Second thing I'll say is part 14 of the Resident Evil Village gameplay is on the way later on tonight at around 11:30, 12 a.m. Irish time. In and around that time frame anyway. But yeah, chat. So Infinite Darkness is sounding very good now. For a die-hard Resident Evil fan, that they're going to explore like the whole exposing of the US government's involvement in the Raccoon City incident. I think it would make for a great story, and it hasn't been kind of delved into too much. Like, you find out a little bit about it. I think you actually find out a little bit about it in 5 actually, and you find, as you mentioned there, Chad, you find a little bit out about it in 6 as well. But yeah. Isn't it kind of I like how Capcom have like rebooted the Resident Evil video game series, but not a reboot in terms of like retelling the story, but just like rebooting, I suppose. How could you put it? Like the aesthetics of it or something. I don't know. It's just like, obviously like 7 and Village are first person, but the fact that they introduced these new kind of like organizations, these new characters, and they kind of flip things around a little bit. It's interesting, Like God of War. That's one way of putting it. Yeah, that's actually a good way of putting it. Actually, I think it's a good way of putting it. Because I think that, like, what I'm trying to say is 7, 8, and 9 have more or less been confirmed to be a trilogy. I think 7 and 8 and 9 are like a next generation kind of like version of what 1, 2, and 3 would be. And I think the connections are kind of like your Umbrella Corporation. The BSAA in Village is kind of like what the stars would have been in Resident Evil 1, because they were involved in the cover up. So, like, Umbrella sent in Wesker. He was working for Umbrella, but he was also the captain of Stars, and he was involved in the whole thing. So he was like lured Stars into the mansion, dispose of them, gather combat data, cover up the mansion incident. Those were his orders. So I would be at all surprised if there was somebody like working within the BSAA that kind of like wanted to cover up the Baker incident from the start. The connection sounds like the Patriots from Metal Gear Solid 2. The connections. From the title, I don't get that, but if you know more than I do about the connections, then that might mean some significance. But to me, what I know of the connections so far, because I haven't completed Village yet, my knowledge of the connections is they are a criminal syndicate, basically operate worldwide, specialise in biological weapons, founded by a former friend of Oswald E. Spencer, and they've been operating in Europe. They discovered the fungus. That's my knowledge of the connections, but I'm presuming that you know more than I do, so we won't discuss that because I haven't gotten to that stage of the game yet. And it's been a long time since I played Metal Gear Solid 2 anywhere, or any Metal Gear Solid game, so my kind of knowledge of the Patriots anywhere are pretty bare bones at the moment. But yeah, what I think now has happened to the Resident Evil series is they're telling a next generation trilogy. So I think instead of the Umbrella Corporation, you have the connections. Instead of Stars, you have the BSAA. Now, I know the BSAA have been known since 5, but as far as the whole kind of betrayal kind of thing, well, to be fair, there was a couple of betrayals actually in the BSAA. In fact, Revelations 1 and Revelations 2 centered around betrayal involving the BSAA. So that's kind of funny, actually, come to think of it. They have done this before. I don't know much about the connections besides what you said. Okay. Well, I can't seem to see the similarities then between the connections and the Patriots. Personally, but great game though. I think I saw it too. And the fact that they're directly, the fact that Village takes place directly after 7, it's very similar to how Resident Evil 2 kind of takes place. Well, it takes place a couple of months, but what I'm saying is that the story kind of picks up, whereas if you look at 4 and 5, it's two completely different stories, different locations, different characters, just a completely different story. And then if you look at, if you look at 6 and 5, they're different, and then 6 and 7, they're different. So 7 and Village, they're directly connected, and I presume 9 is going to be connected as well. So yeah, the connections are this new group that we never knew about in the series before. They're involved in biological weapons. They have weapons that haven't been shut down. They haven't been, they haven't been exposed. They're still out there. They're still operating, and it's not like a shitty little arms dealer in fucking South Africa, that you're taking down, or some nut job who's got a vendetta against Umbrella that steals one of Umbrella's research fucking data, or any of the crap they're told in 5 and 6, this company called Tricell, who never heard of Tricell again. It's not like some kind of what did they tell in Revelations? I forget now, but it's that's a good question. I don't know. Maybe that would be explained at some stage in this. But yeah, that's a very good question. See, that ties into what I was saying earlier, Chad. I think Capcom might have reconned a few details of Resident Evil 7. The first thing I noticed, and I swear to God, I'm 90% positive that there was a stage of Resident Evil Village where Mia admits to Ethan Winters that she is the one responsible for everything that happened. And I'm pretty sure Ethan was like, no, it's not the time for this or something. And he doesn't talk about it. So apparently that's being completely removed now in the village because Ethan doesn't seem to know that Mia was involved in it, which is strange. And as you mentioned there, what happened to Blue Umbrella? There's no reference to Blue Umbrella. When I was reading the Baker incident report, there was no mention of Blue Umbrella. But then again, when Ethan gets to the ceremonial site and sees that logo, he says, I recognize that logo. Now, maybe he means that he recognizes the logo. Damien, welcome back to Green Hill Gaming, man. How are you doing? You enjoying your time off college, man? I was expecting this stream. I know, yeah. I wasn't actually expecting it myself, to be honest with you. But I decided to do a recap of the story of Resident Evil Village so far. And now I'm just chatting about, like, I feel there's like story elements that Capcom have actually removed from Resident Evil 7, like Blue Umbrella, and the fact that Ethan Winters no longer knows about what Mia was involved in. Why would Mia and Ethan move to the middle of nowhere with a cult town? Well, they were given this location. They were given this location by the BSAA. That was all detailed in the Baker incident report. Like they were giving a complete. They weren't giving a different identity, but they were giving a, like, they had to move away because they were under threat by the connections. So that's why they were moved here. So it wasn't that they were moved, like they weren't put into this village. They actually live outside this village. So they won't actually move like directly to this village or anywhere near the castle or anything like that. But yeah, it is kind of strange. And I'd say more likely when Ethan saw the Umbrella logo, he was probably just referencing like the original Umbrella Corporation, because they would have been gone for so long, like, and Ethan is going to be young enough, like, you know, and he mightn't have been aware too much. Thankfully, I hope I'm at the end of the game. I'm still at the same part I was last night. I haven't made any progress since last night, so they didn't have a choice. Nope, they had no choice. The BSAA were just like, they were just like trying to cover up the Baker incident as much as possible, and they were like they put Mia and Ethan in a different country, and kind of like, yeah, they moved them away. But Damon, I haven't made any progress since last night, so don't worry, you didn't miss anything. I'm still in the same area that I was when I ended last night's live stream in part 13. So part 14 will be happening later on tonight, the usual time between 11:30 and 12 a.m. So yeah, don't worry, you haven't missed anything. This live stream was just me reading through the journal in the game. Yeah, man, don't worry, it's all cool. It's all cool. You haven't missed anything. I'd be the same too. If I was watching a live stream now, I'd be thinking to myself like, shit, I'm after missing something. But no, definitely didn't miss nothing. I was just reading the journal that's in the game. It's a handy feature. You can access it at any time in the game. It's Johnny's theory time. You streamed 3 hours last night. I know, that was actually long enough. I didn't expect the factory to be that long. I was actually exhausted, man. There was a time where it's mini theory time. But I swear to God, man, I was ready to collapse last night at one stage, man. I got up to fucking get a drink of fucking milk, and I was so tired, like, you know, like my head was like fucking spinning, like, you know. But yeah, I wasn't expecting the factory to be that big of an area. I thought you put the 4 flasks into the things, like, and it would like activate the final sequence of the game. I actually no more terror. Who said that? That's fake news. Joke. But no, it's not really much theories, because I finished recapping the story, and then Chad mentioned what did you mention again, Chad? Let's see what he mentioned. Well, I forget now. Oh, I think he was talking about Infinite Darkness, and for whatever reason, then I ended up talking about stuff that Capcom may have reconned from 7. But I'm telling you, I know for a fact there was definitely a moment in Village where Mia told Ethan that she was responsible for Evelyn, and Ethan was like, "No, isn't the time for this," or something like that. I'd have to go away and watch all the cutscenes again of Seven just to confirm that. And I definitely know that there was a blue umbrella. Like when Chris saved Ethan and flew away in the helicopter, there was definitely like a blue umbrella logo on it. And even the Not a Hero DLC with Chris Redfield in it, like he's working for this blue umbrella. So where all that goes is beyond me. The only explanation I can give for that, and I could actually give a good explanation actually, is he was always working for the BSAA. Like that's Chris Redfield's main uh, job right now. He's a captain of the BSAA. But basically, he's like a gun for hire. He's like a mercenary in a way. So he was actually hired, and this is the official lore now of the Not a Hero DLC for Resident Evil 7. He was hired by Blue Umbrella. So it wasn't that he was like working like directly for this Blue Umbrella. He was hired by them. Chris went berserk and killed all the Blue Umbrella workers. Maybe he did. Maybe he did. So that's the only explanation I can give anyway. Like it was never a case that Chris Redfield left the BSAA to work for Umbrella. He was hired. He was hired by them. You see, post Raccoon City, post Umbrella Corporation, the world of Resident Evil is a very different kind of world. There's a lot of organizations and groups and military groups that are fighting bioterrorism. The BSAA is just one of them. There's lots others. There's lots of others, and Blue Umbrella is basically was according to lore as a reformed umbrella, reformed by some of the old members and executive staff of the original Umbrella Corporation. Their intention is to clean up the mess that the Umbrella Corporation made, and they were basically combating bioterrorism. So like there'll be, of course, there's going to be a case like where Chris Redfield gets hired by another organization to kind of to help out, basically. So that's the only explanation that I can give as to why like you don't kind of see a big kind of presence of Blue Umbrella in this game. But they still come. I haven't completed it yet, so they could still make an appearance. So the connections definitely do feel like a new Umbrella, and the cover up them at the BSAA very similar to the cover up of the Mansion incident. So yeah, Village, 7, Village, and 9 are definitely going to be like the newer version of a Resident Evil trilogy. And what happens then after that is kind of it should be interesting. It should be very, very interesting now, to be honest with you. Um, I haven't completed the game yet, obviously, and here's me now kind of theorizing fucking after. But I think the days of like some group or some person trying to create the ultimate bioweapon and or stealing the information or selling it off to the black market or whatever else, that kind of a story. I think that story has come and gone for the Resident Evil series. I think going forward they could actually learn from its original from its past lore and delve more into the kind of like the visions of Oswald E. Spencer and characters like that just have these crazy, crazy visions that go far beyond. Like if you think of like William Birkin in Resident Evil 2, he just wanted to complete the G virus. Basically, he was obsessed with his research, and you know. But if you had like more of a kind of not a cult as such, but something like a cult, like where you basically had a kind of an organization that kind of wanted to basically restart the world, like Spencer. That kind of a team. If the Resident Evil series had that kind of a team going forward, I think it would be interesting, and I think it would be refreshing. I'm jumping way ahead now, aren't I? So I will be returning later on tonight between 11:30 p.m. and 12 a.m. Irish time to continue with my Resident Evil Village gameplay. It'll be part 14. I don't know if that will be the final part. I honestly don't know. Like, I don't know how big of a game this is. I don't know how much I have left. I don't want to know either. I don't want to know either how much more I have left. Um, I would, if I would take a guess, I would say there'll be two more parts. Tonight's part and tomorrow night's part. That's, if I had to take a guess, that's what I would say. Because taking into consideration exploration, taking into consideration reading documents, boss fights, cutscenes, me talking shit, 90% me talking shit. Taking all that into consideration, it's I don't know if it's going to be the final live stream tonight. So that's pretty much that, But I was actually, I was actually so delighted for the Sims of Lady Demetres, because she's basically there for like 10 minutes and you kill her and she's gone. Like, really, she got a couple of cutscenes, yeah. You see her on the phone or whatever. She like grabs you like once or twice. She like chases you around the castle, but like you literally just like fight her, boom, she's dead, and that's it. And then like I like how she's the first of the four lords as well. Like, you just get her out of the way. Like, you know what I mean? She's the first to go. Like, do you know how Heisenberg is kind of like, he's the one that's kind of like that you're eventually kind of you're building up to. She turned she turned into Demon Souls. I like how Heisenberg is the one that's kind of everything's leading to Heisenberg. Do you know what I mean? Like, he mightn't be chasing you around the castle or the village or anything, like, but yeah, I just like, because see, this is it, like, isn't it? The whole internet overreacted, simping over a fictional video game character that wasn't even that big of a role in the game. You know what I mean? Like, she wasn't that big of a role in the game. Like, I love it. Like, I do love that now. Killing her was a sweet, sweet moment of the game for me, because I could just hear the cries of the Sims. I could taste their tears, and I can tell you, it felt amazing. Oh God, I mean, the Sims aren't even playing this game. They're just literally, one hand's on the controller, the other hand is on you know what, and they're just like staring at, you know, Lady Demetres the whole time, just letting her chase them and be caught. But I forgot what I was going to say now. Yeah, so I just wanted to make this live stream to recap the story of Resident Evil Village so far. Earlier today, I read out the documents that I collected so far in the game. And yes, in this live stream, I wanted to recap the story and just take advantage of that journal feature of the game. It's never been used in a Resident Evil game that I can think of. I know that in 7, and possibly in 6 and 5 as well. I'm not too sure now about 5. think in between loading times, it kind of. I know that in 7 anyway, definitely in 7, in between load times, you should see the mods, the metaphor. Nah, no interest. But I know in 7, in between load times, you get a recap of like what's happened. But what's good in Village and with the Village, or what's good in Village with the Village, what's good in Village with the journal is that basically it's a place to go. It's a feature to read everything that happened so far in an actual journal, like writing and sketches and everything. So it's it's a good way to recap the story. Like, I mean, if you hadn't played it for a while or anything, there's a mod that replaces the baby with Crystal. I've seen that, yeah. I'm not interested in the mod stuff for Lady Demetress though, but I've seen that, right? Or that they've put the baby on Crystal's head. That is funny. Fucking hell, that is funny. So yeah, really making the most of this game now, even the journal feature and everything. Okay, I am milking this live stream as much as Rockstar Games milk GTA 5. So unfortunately though, I'm not making any money out of it. If I was, I would continue milking this live stream for the next 8 fucking years. But and have a rebroadcast of it on the PS fucking 7. But as I said, I don't get paid for this shit. So this is the end of the live stream where I was recapping the story of Resident Evil Village so far. And finally, I will be back later on tonight between 11:30 p.m. and 12 a.m. for part 14 of my Resident Evil Village gameplay. So until then, thank you so much for watching the live stream. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all next time.